I just heard a voice inside and just told me, why don't you do it? You know? And I'm like, I'm in a way I was like, because I still don't have a camera, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I was hearing. Why don't you do it yourself? And I took heed to that, man. And probably a few weeks later on, got a chance of meeting a good friend, and he helped me out to get me some equipment and whatnot, and invested in me with this equipment. And that was it. Everything else was history, and that's what actually started it, man. And going back to pretty much how I started and where I am now, it's also the same story I'm wanting to tell people in general, the humanity, and whatever that you want to do, you can do it, regardless of whatever tool you have or whatever you don't have. I didn't have much, but at the same time, I was very creative and I used what I had in front of me. And I believe that so much, the universe just opened the doors for me, man. And people began to start kind of blessing me, and I've been shooting ever since, been shooting ever since, man. So that
Cool.
was
And
that was my inspiration, inspiration into filmmaking, videography or whatnot, and like I said, the niche of editing is not too far from videography, so even though years ago I didn't know I would be doing this, or I didn't know I would be doing a full-fledged film, it was already in me. What I had to do is learn how to pull it out of me.
that's very powerful. So Jennifer Jones is in Freedom of NC. Thank you,
Oh, that's my
Jennifer.
wife. Yeah, that's my wife right there, man.
Thank you,
My beautiful
Jennifer. Thank
queen,
you.
man. My beautiful queen.
And it's very beautiful to see her here present and sharing energies and positive vibrations.
Oh
So
yeah. Yes, yeah. She
lucky man.
support me in everything I do, man. Like, I wouldn't have what I had, man, if it wasn't for her, bro. Like, seriously.
You
A lot
are
of
lucky
people don't
man.
see the behind the scenes. I'm talking about solid, and to be able to have a queen like that, or anyone who has a dream, male figure, with someone that they can trust, believe, confidant, and not only that, support you. Maybe can't see the vision clear as you do, but still support it, is like one of the best, man. One of the best. So all loves to my queen, man.
No, I one time I heard a quote that was like a man with big dreams needs a woman with a lot of patience.
Like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, so,
That's it.
so
I
they
heard that
are
quote. Yes. Yes. Yes.
relate. I can relate to that, and also let me also give a shout out to Prince, who is telling King of Kings. So it's
Yeah.
for you.
Was
So thank you.
awesome.
So also, just a reminder for people to subscribe to the channel to stay tuned to the next lives and the next projects we have. Okay, uh, and and James, now moving into this story, because we already have a, a vision of why and how you started filming.
Yes.
But why this story specifically? Why a story about past? You told me about the connection with the song, the music video,
Yes.
but why the depth and the powerful message of this story? Why you felt people needed to see this movie and get to know and discover this story that this movie so brilliantly will show us and present us?
Um, I've always been very big on, like, history. And why this history? I guess that's the question you're asking, or why this topic? Because it's a very touchy topic. Um, I guess I wanted to go to what and a lot of us think is the beginning. even though it's not the beginning. And I wanted to base this story on, you know, this family that was stripped away from everything that they know of, language, culture, their true names, who they are, and give it to them that way. But at the same time, when people would see in more of the deeper of the film, that these people would gain back everything that was stolen back from them. Meaning that even though this film started off this way, doesn't mean that it was the actual beginning. Um, I've been just big on just really slavery film, period. Only because I truly believe with a lot of our ancestors, had to endure, had to go through a lot of that, a lot of them. And we couldn't even imagine. We heard the stories, we've seen the movies, the documentaries, but I can't even imagine during this time and the year that we are doing this. This film is 1863, and this is a bit before the Emancipation, the Proclamation was set. I couldn't imagine living during this time, and what I guess I want people to see is a glimpse of what our ancestors had to endure, what they had to go through, especially lies right here in North Carolina. There's a lot of history that has been untold here. A lot of it, like I said, has been covered up, has been swept under the rug. You have people that is scared to talk about it, people that's not willing to talk about it. And I just wanted to that one to really kind of stand out and just, just like these leaders on the wall and say, hey, the story got to be told regardless, and I've heard it. I've heard it over and over, even when I was in production and filming. Oh, we don't need another slavery film. We didn't seen that already. We didn't see slavery films already. We don't need it. And I understand. I totally understand. I understand where the pain comes from, the frustration. I understand where, how the individual feel. But at the same time, we cannot ignore American history. We cannot ignore this history. Regardless, they try to erase it. Regardless that they did not publish it in the school books, we cannot ignore what our ancestors had to go through, had to, the ups and the bads. There was a lot that was going on back then. But I wanted to specifically talk about North Carolina and this particular family that was born there on Hoppersville, North Carolina plantation, and what they had to go through. But the difference in what I'm sharing and what I want to kind of put out there to the masses is that our history itself, can't be ignored. We can't erase it, and for our young kids. So even with this film I'm doing, I'm making it very entertaining. And I spoke about that earlier. And what I mean by entertaining, we have music, entertainment is a force to be reckoned with, if you agree. And especially with this time of age, getting our youth involved, it has to be very eye-catching or appealing in some type of way. Because once when you try to pull them into something and getting them to watch something, it's only a few seconds if they're going to like it or not. And if you lose them, you lost them. That's it. So with what this freedom of NC is, I have embedded it music, and we got music ranging from hip hop, R&B, gospel, country, rock and roll. We have a bit of poetry. See, I wanted to use all of these arts because that's what it is. I wanted to use all of these arts and tie it in with this education,